Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by James White, who is an estate agent from Yorkshire, who runs the Belong Estate Agency brand. Thank you for joining me today, James. The question I want to ask you is this: do estate agents really need portals? Talk to me.
Well, the public certainly need portals, or the public believe they need portals. The thing for me about the portal landscape and why estate agents all have to be on the same portals as each other, or at least feel as though they have to be, is the herd mentality of estate agents. Agents are scared not to be seen to be doing what their competitors are doing.
It's because they're probably worried that they don't hate the portals, they just hate the competition more, and their biggest fear is losing the listing, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And one of the things about winning instructions is the business of trying to give the client more than the previous agent that came along. So I'm on the market, I'm on LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Rightmove, I'm on Zoopla, I'm on Home Search, I'm on, let's say, Booming Next. If I'm on all of those, you're going to give me the work, aren't you, Mr. Customer? It doesn't actually work like that. And I think that the customers or the house selling public, unfortunately, do expect estate agents to be on Rightmove. And after that, I'm not quite sure about the value of the tapestry of all of those. So,
do you think it's because they almost see it as the more competitive advantages that we have over our competition, the more likely they're people to use us?
Absolutely, and it's completely wrong. The most important thing that you can give a customer is not the volume of portals that you're on, but the quality of the advice that you give them. And again, I think over the 31 years that I've been doing this, I've seen that...
You must have started as a child, James.
I was 16. I did my first valuation at 17.
We can always remember our first one, can't we?
Well, it took 4.5 years to sell and went for £64,000 less than we put it on the market for. So, yeah, remember that one well. I'm not going to give you the address. But yeah, 31 years ago, this was an advice-led business. And now it's a balance between advice and almost accepting what the customer wants. Sometimes the customers come to you as an agent, having already decided which agent they're going to choose. So they're not interested in your advice. They were interested in some of these other things, such as portals.
Do you think that's because the world has changed, or we're not strong enough to give them advice? Because if we give them the tough love, they might not use us.
What do I really think? I think that the thing that changed, the game changer in the balance of estate agency and the advice-led service was when the land registry became public and people could actually see what their neighbours had sold their house for. 25 years ago, the valuation was a dark art. The information was available in the local newspapers, but people didn't absorb it like they can do now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on their devices. So the element of advice on value is probably less important now than advice around the process of moving. People generally have an idea as to what they think their house is worth.
Do you think that the quality of agents today compared to 25 years ago has changed, though, in a downward direction?
Certainly from the perspective of advice, I do. I think that agents now, it's all about winning the listing and how long you can keep the listing before it either withdraws or sells.
And coming back, do you think the portals are a contributory factor to that mentality of what homeowners, the relationship between homeowners and estate agents?
Oh, absolutely, because the portals also try to have a stab at what the house is worth. So they're almost having the cake and eating it at the portals. They're saying, we can advertise your house, we can value your house, but actually what you really need is an agent to come and take the fancy pictures. So the portals themselves are almost diluting the benefit of the agent themselves.
Coming back to the original question, do estate agents need portals? What do you think the relationship is at the moment between the big three and estate agents? Is it? I mean, if you roll the clock back to 2000 to 2005, every estate agent looked like it was Rightmove because we used to plaster the walls and the windows with Rightmove.
Yeah.
So we almost created Rightmove, didn't we?
Absolutely, yeah, we did.
Okay, so it was almost like a relationship. We're in it together. Do you think we have that sort of relationship nowadays?
I think certainly Rightmove has become complacent in terms of its relationship with the estate agency community, and the estate agency community see that as an attritional relationship now, and that's why when a new challenger comes along, all the flags go up and people think this is the replacement and it will be cheaper and the service will be better. I think Rightmove certainly missed a step earlier in the year at the start of the first lockdown, and that didn't do them any good at all. They responded quickly to try and recover that. But certainly we're now starting to hear noises of them putting the fees up again to recover the lost income that they've had over 2020. In many estate agents' opinions that I talk to, they're not actually providing more than a digital shop window. And so estate agents are now reducing down the additional services and just having basic listings on Rightmove.
What do you think the importance of the rep is to the relationship between the agent and the portal?
Oh, it's really important. When I started Belong 3.5 years ago, my rep came along and said that what we had to have was the optimizer. Within the first 12 months, it would be an enabler for us. It would get us lots of free valuation leads. We didn't receive one free valuation lead, despite spending £17,500 in the first year. So from day one, we were onto a loser in terms of the relationship with the rep, because the rep sold us something that actually just wasn't true. Other portals have come along in the meantime to talk to us. Some have been better than others. I felt that the position of On the Market when they contacted me was one that they were out to defeat Rightmove. That was their sole objective. And if I didn't join them, I was contributing to the demise of On the Market and the perpetuity of Rightmove.
How did that make you feel?
I was really cross, because actually as an individual you should be allowed to make your own decisions, and people should respect that. We have to do that in business every day. You win an instruction, you lose an instruction. It's the same for these guys. We're not there to service On the Market. They're there to service us.
Do you think that's endemic on all the big three portals, that we almost feel that we work for them and they don't work for us?
I think less so with the relationship I've got with my rep with Zoopla. The person that I communicate with at Zoopla is very, very good, and actually makes me feel like a valued customer, whereas Rightmove don't.
But does that cross through to the number of leads that you get?
We get as many leads from Zoopla at a third of the price than we do from Rightmove. And interestingly, we dropped Rightmove for lettings at the start of last year completely. And we now let all of our properties using Zoopla and OneDome and social media. Interestingly, we rented 4 properties out a couple of weeks ago just from Facebook.
I know in the next video we're going to talk about whether estate agents actually need, the market leader. No, actually, let's talk about it now. Actually, do you think market leaders in a town actually need the portals?
I don't think they do, and I actually think there's room to almost reverse back out of the portals if the market leaders are so very strong, and almost create a local portal in the town.
I've said it before that agents should get together in a town and create a hyperlocal portal. Then there's less reliance on the main portal itself.
But they can't collaborate. Estate agents are too competitive by nature.
Because they hate their competitors more than they...
And the irony is they will go and work for that competitor if a few more pounds are dangled at them in 2 or 3 years' time. But before that, they will just slag them off at every opportunity, quite often. And it's one of the rules in business that you should never slag off your competition. No,
it's a shame it's not more of a collaborative nature. Final question, what's your thoughts on Boomin?
I think he's got some great points. I was an early registrant. First thing I said was I'll put my hand up, and I'm quite happy to listen and to learn. We subscribed to Boomin, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be very, very different. Obviously, Kenny and Michael are not the most popular in the industry from the days at Purple Bricks, not necessarily because of them, but because of the adverts they put out. And I think people need to differentiate between the proprietors and the advertising. But I'm happy to go along with it and to see what it can bring. I think it's got some very, very good, useful, unique tools. I'm excited by it.
Thank you for your time today, James. You've been an absolute star, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about whether PropTech is really a game changer for estate agency and estate agency staff or customers coming first. Thanks very much.
Thanks.